Hello.
What is going on, guys? It's Triple G here, back with another Borderlands 3 video, kind of. So, a number of people on stream recently have been asking me about my thumbnails and just how much time I take spending it on my thumbnails. Now, I'd probably say I spend between 10 to 15 minutes minimum on a thumbnail, and I can show you how very quickly how to do that. Here are some examples of the thumbnails that I've done recently, which I believe have done really well, mainly in part to the thumbnail, mainly and some part to the actual naming of the YouTube video yourself. But one thing is really clear, that if you look at my thumbnails as I go across the 3 year, I have a particular style. The writing is really clear to see, and I keep it kind of very similar in terms of the color schemes and stuff like that. So I'm going to show you using GIMP today how you can produce these thumbnails really quickly. Guys, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, particularly if you like Borderlands content. And otherwise, let's get straight into it. So as I said before, I use GIMP. So what we'll do is we'll make a new image. Now the image itself, as you saw there, is 1920 by 1080. You can do 1280 by 720 if you want to, but I find that this scale works pretty well for when I'm doing thumbnails. So I'll just get myself a nice transparent background to start with, and then what you need to do is get an image. So you'll notice here that I use images on the background, and then make the lettering kind of pop off. So So what I will do here is I'll bring an image in that I have kind of stock, and I will resize it ready to go. So the video that I am making a thumbnail today about is a top 5 video on the top 5 things that I think we should be doing before DLC 4 comes out. So one of the reasons why I chose this image is it works really well with my style. So for example, when I said here I like the writing on the left hand side in an image, you have that here now, with plenty of space for my writing on this left hand side, and then we still have the Krieg imagery, which works well because it's DLC 4 and it's about Krieg. So what we've got here then is the way that I get my writing to pop off is kind of two ways. So I can use the filters here to put a blur on, um, and that will just take the edge off the kind of edges of the background, and therefore make my writing pop off as well. So I'm gonna just start with this, just the standard 1.5 blur, just to put that over the top, and it might look like I'm making the image worse, but I promise you it will make the writing pop off a little bit more. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to start just building my writing. So I'm going to take the text here, and I'm just going to set it to white text. And then I personally like bold italic. Now you can use whatever font you want, whatever style you want. It's completely up to you. It's just the style that I've got to go for. I would definitely recommend you using something consistently across your kind of videos. So so mine is going to be 5 things to do, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take this text, I'm going to make it bigger. I like to take it right to the edges of the text box here. So this particular writing I may end up changing to kind of a yellowy color, because it's, if you look back at like these videos here, I like these thumbnails, I like to make the writing, the smaller writing, kind of yellow. So 5 things to do, and then the next word that I want to use. So I'm going to duplicate this layer. So that saved me changing all the fonts and stuff to match this one. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to bring that down. And then the first, I'm going to emphasize before, because before is is when I want to watch people to watch this video. I want people to be ready for DLC. So I want to make it roughly the same size as the one above, because they're going to be kind of stacked. And then I'm going to put DLC 4, or so 5 things to do before you play DLC 4. So I'm probably going to make before a little bit bigger, and these are the decisions. Like, don't be afraid to move away slightly from what you were going to do, because your title of your YouTube video is really important. So I'm going to duplicate that top layer again. I'm going to pull that down, and then all I'm going to do is put U play DLC4, and then so as you can see right now, if I didn't do anything, this writing is pretty difficult to see on top of here. So there's a few things that I'm going to do. So I am going to rotate slightly this text on an angle. If I start rotating this in GIMP and then try to change the color, it will just reset the layer. So you need to make sure that you change any coloring of the layers or anything like that before you rotate. So I am going to change this area to the yellow that I like to use. And I plan to bring a logo here of the DLC4 putting down here, and maybe even a Borderlands logo over here. So let's get my text sorted out first, because I think this is the most important part. So let's do the rotate. So I like to just select rotate and just hit the with a -5, and then select the next layer and do the same thing again. So nice and simple, nothing too strenuous here, just hit and rotate and just hitting it with a -5. So again, so we've rotated it now, and now I want to get the positioning right. So I need to make sure that I leave enough space below. I'm considering at the moment making that a little bit bigger. Now, I could go into the text. I could press the text and that would reset it and I have to rotate it again. But what you can do, if you just want to slightly adjust it, you can just pull it. Just pull it ever so slightly. And that means you haven't had to go into the text area, and then that will protect me from that. So I can then just adjust that a little bit. Now, so we've rotated our text, but it still doesn't pop off the way that we want it to at the moment. So we're going to be using a filter around these. So I'm going to go up to filter and light and shadow. Now you could drop a drop shadow in for if you wanted to with an angle, and that will make your text. So you can choose the angle you want, and then the length of that will make your text pop off. You could do that, but personally, I'm not a massive fan of that one. I think it doesn't look as good. So what I like to use, my favorite, is a combination of the two. So I use this Atch effect here, and I'll double black it so it makes it stand out. And then as you can see here, if I deselect, we've already started to get a nice outline. And then, as I said, I use 2 filters, and then I'll put a drop shadow on it, and I'll do this maybe 2 or 3 times, and now my text really stands out. And when we do this same process to the before wording, you'll really start to see this start to pop out. And as I said before, you can't really tell now that we blurred that background, but what you can do is you can see how our text is really starting to pop off from front. And I this is all self-taught. I just Googled everything when I was creating thumbnails, so it's nothing that you guys can't do yourself. So now we have our 5 things to do before you play DLC4, which is brilliant. Next thing I want to do is I want to bring in actual Borderlands logo. So I have a Borderlands logo that I'm going to drag in here with a transparent background. Now, you could use the lasso to cut things out if you want to. I don't need to cut anything out on this particular one, but you would use this thing up here, the free select tool, or it kind of looks like a lasso, and you could cut an image out and set an alpha channel. If you've got any questions about that, please feel free to ask in the comment sections below about that one. So I've already now got a pretty nice thumbnail now. So the Borderlands symbol here, I could, if I wanted to, just put a drop shadow on that to make it stand out from its background, like we did with the text, just so it kind of dampens down those edges down the bottom, makes it pop off a little bit. We've got Creek here, which fits in with our theme. Our text is pretty clear, and then the only thing I personally do is I will go to a previous version, see how I've got my little symbol there, just for a little bit of branding, so that my viewers can see that it's one of mine before they even open the video, because sometimes people will see them from their tiles, um, make sure you press the little green icon that was down there at the bottom to make sure that that actually comes as its own separate layer. Sometimes if you don't press that, it will get stuck in a layer as well, and then you can't separate and move it if you want to. So the only thing I'll add to the list, let's just say for argument's sake, I'm pretty happy with this thumbnail now, but let's just say for argument's sake that you needed to darken down the background, or you wanted a particular theme. So let's just say, theme, Krieg's into, he's a psycho, he's into blood. So let's just say we wanted to make this, give it some kind of a red vibe. You can use this colorize section here. We can select red, and you can already see that I could darken down, I could tone this image to kind of a red theme. So if it was like a psycho kind of theme, you could do that. You can make it red, you can make it any color you want basically, and just make it fit in with that theme. And I have done that in the past, but I quite like now this version here with the color situation, because I really like the theme that's going on for the DLC. So that's it, guys. This video was recorded in 11 minutes. So this is, in my opinion, a pretty decent thumbnail that's ready to go. I might add the actual DLC 4 logo to that. But other than that, that is it, guys. If you have enjoyed this video and like to see more kind of videos of how I've done my thumbnails or anything on my YouTube videos, please let me know. And otherwise, I will catch you on the flip.